All right, on today's episode of bringing back the $500 '83 Porsche 944, we're going to add some new spark plug leads. So we'll go through each step here. This is a really easy process, but trying to document everything I do on the car, and hopefully that's helpful for you guys. So here we go. All right, step one, good life hack for you. If your struts are tired and they just won't hold up the hood, vice grips on the struts. Learned that from a friend, and it changed my life. All right, so today we're gonna be replacing these cables. So we have our coil, we have our leads to go to our spark plugs, and as you can see, these Bluetooth cables will be coming out. They don't work too well. And we're just gonna run these to the right spots. You can see where they run here to the spark plugs. So we'll also pull the spark plugs, take a look at those, and we'll throw out a fresh set of spark plugs while we're here. So I'll walk through each step of that, and that way, if you've never done this before, you can see how easy it is, and we'll go from there. All right, first thing you need to know, so your distributor here, your cat runs around clockwise, and it sends spark to each one of these cables. This is number one right here, and your cylinders are 1, 2, 3, and 4. So when people talk about firing order, they're talking about what order the spark plug fires in each cylinder. So it starts at 1, and the firing order in this is going to be 1, 3, 4, 2. So it starts right here. It hits spark plug 1 first. Oop, that's my coil. 1, 3, 4, 2. All right, so as we put these cables in, you'll see that they are the right length. So the longer one's going to go in the back, shorter one's going to go in the front. And your shortest will be your coil, and it's going to go from here to your coil right there. So I'm going to pull these off, and then we'll go from there. They might give you some trouble, but if you just yank, twist, work on it, there you go. Hook them off. There's our lead. Instead of you guys watching me struggle through this, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull them, and then off camera, so you don't watch me struggle so much. All right, so you'll probably want to pull from the spark plug first to be easier. Boop, there you go. And you can see our spark plug is right there. And we'll just kind of work our cables loose all the way back. Of course, that one's already detached, but oh, of course that one's just falling apart. All right, I'll pull those, and I won't let you watch me struggle through everything I do. All right, the old cables are off. As you can see, they are a little problematic. And something I like to do anytime I'm working on something, and I like to foolproof it as much as possible. So as I pulled each one off, you can see there's cylinder 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4. So when I'm putting the leads back on, I don't have to be confused. I can just know. All right, spark plugs right there. So we'll pull those and take a look, see how those are looking, but we're just going to replace them anyway, because these cables are an indicator that things just need to be new and fresh. All right, so we'll pull those next. All right, for the 83, I've got a deep socket 22 millimeter. That's going to pull these spark plugs out. It's a little different between the models. The S2, I actually have to have a tool that comes with it that fits down in, the spark plugs are recessed down a little deeper into the valve cover, and so end up having to pull those a little deeper, but this is really easy on these. You can see it, and just a deep socket 22 with an extension makes life easy. Here we go. Could have kept going a little longer. All right, so Let's let it focus. Not too bad. It's definitely a little black. The fuel regulator is bad on this car too, so we will be replacing that in a separate video. So I imagine these fuel distribution was not correct for a little bit as it ran. So we'll pull them all, we'll put fresh ones in. Separate video, we'll replace that regulator, and we'll see if we can't start it up here, hopefully within either this weekend or next. We'll find out. All right, last plug is a little bit of a pain to get to, at least for my fingers, but that's why we have tools. Woo! Now, that one's the most unbeautiful of them all. Looks like a little bit of rust was around it and some debris on the cylinder, or where do you call it? The threads right there. So, definitely gonna get some new plugs. See about cleaning things up a little bit. And at least that part's done. We got all that out, and we will put the new cables in. These are nice, soft. They're black, not crunchy and brittle. But I'll pick up some new plugs. We'll throw in some new wires, and that will be it for that. Oh, also, while I was in here, I realized we're missing a vacuum line, so I'm going to pick up a vacuum line also, and it connects right here, as you can see. So while you're at the auto store, cheap little plastic hose you can just grab, a little rubber connector that goes right here. Any auto store will have it, and we'll reconnect that line. That also would cause it to not run well. All right, so unfortunately, pulling that last spark plug out, we've got, looks like sand or something, I don't know. But we got to do some vacuuming out now, clean that out, and we'll have to take a look. It's been sitting for over a year, so who knows, maybe it just rusted and stuff came apart. Engine's turning good, so, but I think when we pulled that spark plug out, we got some junk down in the cylinder now. So we're gonna have to get that out and have a look. Yay! To get creative. Fortunately, I have this patent pending, I call it a spark plug hole cleaner. And yeah, pretty custom with a K, but I'm hoping this will get the job done. We'll see. Alright, so round one of my tool didn't actually fit in the spark plug hole, but that's okay. Went back to the workshop and I developed this attachment that is designed to go with my hose here, and this will reach into the hole. So now I'm gonna have to do another patent for my attachment to my custom with a K spark plug hole slash cylinder vacuum tool. I mean, it's the only one in the world that exists that I know of, especially at this kind of quality. So if you'd like one, shoot me an email. I think send me $2,000 and I'll build you one, and we'll mail it to you. All right, let's give it a Alright, well, what started as a simple spark plug wires and spark plug video is now an investigation into what is the junk that fell in and what was on the spark plug. So I scraped some off right here, and let me set this thing like that. There we go. It's not sand. That's good. It's almost like a powder. So when I rub it like that, it disintegrates. So not falling in the ground or anything, it just turns into a powder. So I think it's just some oxidation or chaff or something. I don't know, it feels ashy. but I don't think it's sand or metal or anything hard. So I don't think I'll be pulling the head to clean that. I'm doing a PB Blaster soak in that cylinder at the moment. So I don't think you can really see it, but put a 24-inch socket on main crank down there and just turn the engine over until that cylinder was up to the top, and then just put a good little layer of PB Blaster in just to see if it will disintegrate all that stuff. So I'll stick my bore scope, this cool little $30 scope I picked up online from somewhere in China. Works awesome. And I'll take another look once the PB Blaster's done its thing. But I think we're gonna be good. I think we'll just stick the plugs in and keep rolling. But I will show you, so I'll keep going. I'll show you how to do the other ones and run the wire cables, and we'll see what we get from the 4-cylinder back there. But I think we're gonna be all right. Yay. All right, we got a brand new spark plug. Isn't it beautiful? And we're gonna put just a little bit of this spark plug grease on the threads. So just right here, don't put it on the tip, but just this part that connects with the block, we're gonna put that in there. That'll just help it not have an issue like we did in the back. You know, protective layer, and hopefully easier to remove next time we need to. So I'm gonna put a thin bead on, put the 22-inch socket back on, and we will. All right, so I put a thin layer on each one, and just the 3. I'm leaving the 4th till we figure that out. Finger tighten it as much as I could, and then from here, I'm just gonna stick the socket on there. Let's switch to the right direction, shall we? Righty is tighty, by the way. Lefty loosey. Okay, all right, so once we get here, what I usually do is just get it to where it's tight, so it's still going, and then once it's, still going. Don't want to over tighten. That's definitely not what we want to do, so still not much resistance yet. Starting to tight. Okay, so when we're about right there, I can feel it's wanting to stop. Just a little bump, and that's where I leave it. You can always tighten it more later, but you do not want to mess up the threads. That would be a bad thing. So don't over tighten these things. All right, so I'll just crank down these other 2 the same way, and we'll figure out that last one. All right, now ready to throw in some wires. You can see these are all different lengths. So the longest one is going to go back to cylinder 4, and you can do the math. Next is going to be 3, 2, and 1. So remember how we have them labeled here. So 1 will be our short throw, 2, 3, and then 4 is our long guy. The one that looks different than the others and is also short is your coil. So this one is going to go to our coil right there. So this end and the coil plug in. They're the end on the cap right there. So I'll probably do that last so that it's not in the way while I'm plugging in the others. All right, let's do it. All right, number 1 is on. So that end goes there. This end goes on the spark plug and plugs the spark plug hole. Just kind of want to route it like this, and then push it down on top of that cap. It's really hard to do with one hand. I'm gonna have to do it off camera, but just push it down on there. It'll clamp on top of the plug like that. Seal that hole and make a good connection. And you're gonna route them each kind of the same way. And we really need some new brackets here, but we'll put it in the brackets as we go. That'll help keep it nice and clean. All right, we'll wrap up this video. So I've got the little cables routed. They're in, all except for the last one, letting that one dry out, and then I'll put the plug in the cap and all that good stuff. Or plug in and wire with the cap on the wire. There you go. Real quick, so we discovered that we were missing a vacuum hose from here to right there. You can see that little connector. we're missing, so I'm assuming that's gotta be where that goes. So I'll double check it later, but it's pretty easy to correct my mistake if wrong. So I'm gonna run picked up some cable when I went by the auto store, and then these little caps like this. And what I'll do is, see, I already stuck one on, stuck the cap on, and we will stick that on there. And then we'll cut this cable, or this, not cable, vacuum hose to the right length and just connect it right there with the other cap. And that should fix what will be clearly a vacuum leak. All right. Okay, the vacuum leak is fixed, or at least that one is. We'll figure out which other ones we have. So from there, run it around and then connect it to that T that was dangling back there. We've got our plug wires in. So I'm gonna say, for now, that this part is done. I will clean up, dry out that last cylinder all the way, just drop the plug in, and then we'll move on. Next, it's gonna be that regulator right there. And then the brakes, we've got to do brake job, which I'll do a whole video for that as well. I got the motive power bleeder for that, some brake fluid, all the good stuff. So subscribe, follow me for this one. I'm trying to make a video for everything I do on this car. So every little step I'm taking to try to get it to crank, to run again, and to drive on its own power. That's my goal. And then I'm going to turn this one loose to one of you guys, hopefully, if somebody wants it. It's a great little project, solid. But my goal was just, you know, picked it up for 500 bucks. Want to make it run again, and I can't believe how great a deal it's been so far. Especially that insulation right there. The S2 doesn't even have that. Impressive. All right, well, thanks for watching the video. Stay tuned, and I'll keep posting more helpful stuff, which hopefully benefits some of you guys. Thanks.